In a shocking announcement that has left everyone from consumers to investors stunned, Tupperware has revealed plans that could dramatically alter the company's future. Do you remember those iconic Tupperware parties? The colorful containers, the enthusiastic hosts, the late-night snacking? Well, it turns out even the best of things can fall on hard times. Tupperware, the brand that was synonymous with kitchen organization and airtight storage, has officially filed for bankruptcy. But what happened? How could a brand so ingrained in our daily routines suddenly struggle to stay afloat? Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your favorite pair of jeans is no longer available. Or worse, your go-to perfume has been discontinued. It's a feeling of loss, a pang of nostalgia. Well, that's kind of what happened to Tupperware. Over the last several years, the company's financial position has been severely impacted by the challenging macroeconomic environment. As a result, we explored numerous strategic options and determined this is the best path forward. Lorianne Goldman, President and Chief Executive of Tupperware, said in a statement. Remember the close call Tupperware had last year? Yeah, it's about to get a whole lot more real. Tupperware is officially seeking court approval to start a sale process for the business. That's right, folks. The brand that has been a part of our kitchen for decades might be changing hands. It's a shock, a bit of a loss. But why is Tupperware taking this drastic step? Is it a desperate attempt to survive? Or is this a strategic move towards a digital future? Let's find out. So while Tupperware is facing a major challenge, they're not giving up just yet. Even though the company is filing for bankruptcy, they're still going to keep running. So you can probably still find your favorite Tupperware stuff in stores. And guess what? Here's the twist. Even in the face of bankruptcy, Tupperware is showing a surprising act of loyalty. They are committed to keeping their employees, vendors, and suppliers paid. So, while they are going through this tough time, they are making sure everyone who's been involved with the brand is taken care of. Tupperware CEO Margaret Goldman says, "We plan to continue serving our valued customers with high-quality products they love and trust throughout this process." It's a reassuring message, but it also raises a lot of questions. What does the future hold for Tupperware? Will it be able to bounce back from this setback? And can it still be a brand people trust? The reality is that a sale might be inevitable even while Tupperware is determined to keep its doors open. Imagine Tupperware being bought by a big box retailer or a trendy homewares company. It's like seeing your favorite local bakery being taken over by a national chain. It's a bittersweet moment, filled with both hope and a sense of loss. Just over a year ago, Tupperware narrowly escaped bankruptcy. Tupperware was in really bad shape. They were losing money and weren't sure if they could keep going. It was a desperate situation, one that had many industry experts predicting the end of the iconic brand. But Tupperware managed to survive thanks to a last-minute deal to restructure its debt. The company managed to reduce its interest payments by a staggering $0 million, secured a borrowing capacity of up to $1 million, cut its debt by $1 million, and got a deadline extension to repay $8 million in interest and fees to the 2027 fiscal year. It was a quick fix, a temporary solution to a pressing problem. But it's important to remember that these things were just a temporary solution. Tupperware still faces significant challenges, and the threat of bankruptcy remains a very real possibility. Executives were confident in the restructuring plan. Mariela Matute, the chief financial officer, announced with a forced smile in the press release. This confidence was a smokescreen, a facade to hide the impending disaster that was about to unfold. A year later, the confidence that executives once boasted about turned out to be nothing more than hot air. The restructuring plan, hailed as a savior, had failed miserably. It was like a castle made of sand. It looked strong, but it was really weak and about to fall apart. In June, the company announced a devastating blow: the closure of its only U.S. facility in Hemingway, South Carolina. This wasn't just a bad thing, it was the end. The layoffs that followed, affecting nearly 150 employees, sent shockwaves through the community and the entire industry. But how did this happen? How could a company with such a storied history, a brand that was synonymous with American households, fall so far? Tupperware started with a guy named Earl Tupper, who came up with those cool, airtight containers. But it was a woman, Brownie Wise, who really made it big. In the 1950s, she started selling Tupperware and came up with some really clever ways to get people to buy it. She changed how people sold stuff directly to customers. Brownie Wise saw that women all over America could be really good at selling stuff. She got them to have their own Tupperware parties at their houses where they could show off the products and sell them to their friends. These parties weren't just about buying stuff. They were also a way for women to hang out, have fun, and make some money. As Lori Kahn, the director of the documentary Tupperware, points out, these parties offered women a flexible side hustle that provided them with financial freedom. Back then, women were usually stuck in traditional roles. But Tupperware gave them a chance to do something different and follow their dreams. Back in the mid-20th century, women faced a lot of limitations. Getting a credit card without your husband's permission? Forget about it. Bankers were saying, nope, not happening. But then came Tupperware. These parties weren't just about selling plastic containers. They were about helping women be independent. Think about being able to make your own money, buy a house, pay for your kids' school, and go on vacation without having to ask anyone. It was a big deal, as explained by Kahn. Next time you see a Tupperware container, remember it's more than just plastic. It's a reminder of women being strong and independent, financial independence, and bringing back good old memories. Back in the day, the Tupperware party was a big deal. It was like a night out for women, a chance to connect and shop for cool kitchen stuff. But once Earl Tupper's patents expired, things changed. Suddenly, there were cheap knockoffs everywhere, and the magic of the Tupperware party started to fade. Tupperware was caught off guard and failed to adapt. They didn't innovate and didn't expand into other houseware categories. It was like a ship sailing into a storm without a compass. While the company attempted to modernize with direct-to-consumer sales and a presence in Target, it was too little, too late. The competition was fierce, and the nostalgia that once fueled sales was fading. As the years went by, sales plummeted, and the once mighty Tupperware found itself struggling to stay afloat. So why did Tupperware fall on hard times? Well, it's a combination of factors. For one, consumers are looking for a deal. Platforms like Temu offer cheaper alternatives, and even big retailers like Target are stepping up their game with their own home storage and kitchenware lines. It's like Tupperware is caught in a sandwich. On one side, you have these new, affordable options. On the other, you have the declining nostalgia for the brand. I mean, think about it. Younger generations might not even remember the iconic Tupperware parties. For them, it's just a plastic container. But for older generations, it's more than that. Everybody has a Tupperware story to tell about their mother or their aunt. Somebody went to a party or gave a party, and they had a piece of Tupperware that they remember vividly from their childhood, Kahn said. It's amazing how it permeates the culture and people's sentimental memories of their childhood. Even if Tupperware were to completely vanish from the marketplace, the name itself would likely live on. That's because people have become so accustomed to using Tupperware as a generic term for any kind of resealable food container that it's almost like a household word. So even when they're buying a knockoff or a different brand, they'll still call it Tupperware. This kind of brand recognition can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it shows the strength of the brand and its deep penetration into the market. But on the other hand, it can also create a sense of complacency, leading the company to believe that it's too big to fail. That might be why Tupperware had trouble keeping up with the times. Even in bankruptcy, Tupperware remains a part of our cultural lexicon. It's like the old saying, you can't kill a legend. Every time you open a resealable food container, whether it's Ziploc, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, or Freshware, you're touching a piece of Tupperware's legacy. But that's not all. The Tupperware story isn't over yet. Lori Kahn, the director of the documentary, originally dreamed of turning it into a Broadway musical. Even though she's putting that idea on hold for now, she's got something else cool going on. She's making a movie based on her documentary. So, to sum it up, Tupperware is more than just those plastic boxes. It's about women being strong and independent, good old memories, and the power of a brand. Even though the company might be struggling, its story will always be remembered and inspire people for years to come.